Hey, this is Jonesy from Jonesy DB coming at you with a review for Fear the Walking Dead Season 2 as a whole. So, this episode started off and our people were leaving LA, our little group with Salazar's, Strand, and basically Madison and Travis and their families with Alicia, Chris, and Nick. And we have this uh, they're still at the start of the apocalypse in the beginning of the season, and they don't really know quite how to handle themselves. And they go through all these trials on the boats. They're avoiding pirates, and there's some good standalone episodes. But I mean, I wasn't really enthralled with the show the first few episodes. But as soon as they went to Mexico and got to Mexico, I knew something was going to be different. I knew the show was going to take a positive turn, which is weird because I did like the boat because it was a change of pace when they were on the Abigail. But whenever they got to Mexico, it was just this change of pace when he opened up with the evil lady running the little place where they poisoned the parishioners' bread and basically believe that walkers are the next stage of life. You know, this insane person, sort of like Herschel's Farm, except on steroids, basically. I knew this season was going to be better. And I really did, going into the mid-season finale, I was like, man, I'm excited. And then the second half of the season opened up with Grotesque, episode 8, where we saw Nick on his solo journey, and he finds Lucia and the Colonia, and we get introduced to them and Alejandro. And I really like that whole arc this season. And then, of course, we have the Chris Travis plot line going on. And the Chris Travis plotline was one of the best plot lines of the show. It was the best plot line of the show so far. And it culminated with Travis brutally murdering those two people in the season finale. And, of course, having to leave the hotel with Madison and them. And it was fantastic. It was phenomenal. I would say the weak link at the second part of the season had to be the hotel storyline. Like, it had its episodes, like whenever they were going off the pier. Like, that was epic. But at the same time, it had moments where it was just, like, lackluster. Like, okay, what are we doing? Of course, Strand's arc this whole season was fantastic too. He got to the point where he didn't know if he wanted to kill himself because he had just put down basically his lover. But after that, he got over it and he started helping Madison and all of them survive, and that was interesting. And by the end, we see that he helps them escape and accepts his fate, whatever it may be, with the people at the hotel. And I really think that was a great, scene. And I think some of the minor characters that we got introduced to towards the end of the season who sort of became main characters, like Alejandro, were handled perfectly, especially at the end with Alejandro sacrificing himself. But of course, we have the Salazar has died, Daniel. We have Chris, who we believe is dead. And, we never got confirmed that Salazar was dead, but I'm pretty sure he is. And of course, a few other characters, but Alejandro's death hit me the worst, I think, of all those. And that's weird because I think the effects of Chris' death affected me more. But, Alejandro's death had so much weight whenever he sacrificed himself. But I found myself liking Chris, even though he was insane towards the end of the season. And his character arc was phenomenal. Like, he went from being this little angsty teen to being this, like, serial killer in a few episodes, and it was really well put together, and I was surprised by that because I didn't think Herney's performance was that fantastic at the beginning of the season. I just thought he was like an emo version of Kylo Ren for the apocalypse, but he really turned into this cool character, and when he died, it was cool to see Travis sort of turn into this dark, brooding, kind of dictatorship kind of guy. And so I think season 2 worked a lot, but it took a while for it to gel for me. The first half of the season was great in its own ways, but it wasn't quite nearly as good as the second half of the season. But really, if you're going to pick up momentum in the show, the second half of the season is the time to do it. So I would have to give Fear the Walking Dead Season 2, I'd give it a hard 8.5 because the first half of the season, if it was just alone, I'd probably give it a 7. But the second half of the season it blew the first half of the season out of the water and anything else we'd seen on this show. And really, I think The Walking Dead could learn a thing or two about how this show deals with emotions. Fear the Walking Dead deals more with the emotions, the raw emotions of the characters, whereas The Walking Dead's more just about survival. And I really think both shows can benefit from taking notes from each other. But I mean, it's crazy because last year I wouldn't have even been mentioning Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead the same sentence because they weren't even near each other on levels. But I really think Fear the Walking Dead's coming to its own this season, and I am really excited for season 3. So I have to give season 2 an 8.5. I think that's a fair score. Comment below if you think I should have rated it higher or lower. But I hope you've enjoyed this review and all my Fear the Walking Dead reviews. The links will be in the description. Check out those. Remember to like and subscribe for more content. I hope you've enjoyed. This has been Jonesy from Jonesy TV, signing off.